Nation Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Saratoga. A little warm here at the spot today. Temperature's supposed to reach the mid-90s. Partly cloudy skies right now. Main track's fast. Turf courses are firm. There's no carryover in today's Pick 6. 10-race card. Pick 6 starts in race number 5. Here are the changes for today's races. The early Pick 5 begins in race 1. There are no changes in the opener. Early Pick 4 starts in race 2. These scratches. Scratch the 7, Isabel Alexandra. 10, Personal Pursuit. 12, Strut. And 13, Maria from Miami. Race number 2. Scratch 7, 10, 12, and 13. A scratch from race 3. Take out the 5, Family Time. Race 3, scratch the 5, Family Time. Race number 4, scratch the 3, Valorant. Race 4, scratch the 3, Valorant. And that Pick 6 starts in race number 5. No changes in the 5th. Late Pick 5 starts in race 6. Please note the number 7, Lachey's, is a Ridgeling. And scratch the 11, Master Sergeant, and 12, Captain Party. Race 6, scratch the 11 and 12. Late Pick 4 begins in race 7. No changes in race 7. A scratch in race 8. Take out the 4, King Fury. Race 8, scratch the 4, King Fury. Race number 9. Please note the 4, Bye Bye Melvin, is a first-time gelding. Scratch the 7, Good Governance, and the 10, Burning Bright. Race number 9, scratch the 7 and 10. And in race number 10, please note there's an equipment change on the number 5. Missing link, blinkers on. Race 10, blinkers on the 5, missing link. Fast and firm. Temperature supposed to reach the mid-90s. Stay hydrated out there today. We'll be back at 12:30 with a reprise of the scratches and changes. Coming up next, the Thursday edition of Talking Horses with myself and Andy Serling.
Good morning, everyone. I almost said good afternoon. I was thrown.
Not yet.
You left me alone for one day, though. Greg did an admirable job, more than an admirable job. He was great. Had a great time, actually. But nice to have you back, Anthony. And he's Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Sterling, and it's Talking Horses. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Tan, rested, and ready.
Tan rested and ready.
Hair
yes.
looking good. It's all.
You like the hair
happening for
today?
you. Looks
Hair's
good.
good. I found a new barber up here.
Really? Hair looks good in general to me. Any kind of hair. Anyhow, we got 10 to talk about today. We'll head over to Naira Bets, start things off. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, use promo code TOGA200. We'll match with $200 your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Keep the money in the game. We have a $10,000 late pick 5 bonus, so you'll hit and split on that. You'll want to sign up for that. Opt in over at NairaBets.com. Maybe I'll head over and do that right now.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too.
Yeah, good idea. We'll all do it. We'll all do it together. We
can
also have Saturday contest coming up. You have till 5 o'clock tomorrow to sign up for this.
We do.
That's
$300.
Naira.com/contest. $300 buy-in, cash and seat prizes.
Next week's the big 4-star Dave contest. It's a $3,000 contest.
Yes.
And there it is. Boom. $5,000 seated prize pool. It's all cash prizes. You can do this one here at the spa as well as online at Naira Bets. So head over to, again, Naira.com /contests. And I believe you have till 5 o'clock next Friday.
Next
to sign
Friday,
up for
we
that as
assume
well.
the same thing, but head over to contest and find out. We also have the low rollers. Go see Jay and Ray over outside the Miller Time 4-Star Dave Sports Bar. On track only. Of course, that 4-Star Dave contest and the other contests are at home or through Naira Bets. This is on track only for this. $40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 prize pool. A lot of fun. Check out the low rollers. And last but not least, 1 to 6:30 on FS2 today. All of today's action. Race numero uno. Where did you go in here?
I went to numero uno. Lady Quinn. Dan was 5 for 26. New York bred daughter of Central Banker.
Okay. There is a story on this horse.
No, I have nothing. Is
There is a story.
Oh, there is? I didn't have anything. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like the last couple of drills, one from the gate here at Saratoga, and then that was the penultimate work, and then this last one was a fast one from the pole, 35 on a quiet day at the spa. So.
Okay. Probably won't take a Herculean effort to win here. Certainly have to look at first-time stars. Todd Pletcher has the 3 as well in here, a first-time star. We'll see how this one runs. Not one of the things Todd does great work with first-time starting maiden claimers, but he's had some success. He's 3 for 15 overall with 2-year-old first-time stars and maiden claimers and dirt sprints. He's 2 for 5, though, at Saratoga. Girl Afraid, we'll show the race in Monmouth. I'm not a huge fan of hers. It's not that good, but I think it is worth looking at this race because there is a reasonable argument that the rail was the place to be, and she was 2 to 3 wide in this race. So she was probably a little bit against the track that day at Monmouth. I'm not a big fan. I did put her second in here. But you have left the number 5, Sicilian Grandma, off the board. I'm a big fan of this horse, and maybe a firster will beat her. But I think the 5, Sicilian Grandma, is probably the horse to beat. I mean, why even ship this horse here, frankly, running a week before the meet at Ellis? Sloppy track that day. Horse was probably not handling, down on the rail, sort of like shuffled itself out, came and ran a little bit in there. This looks like a horse to me that will run a lot better second time out, and I think Sicilian Grandma is an extremely logical horse in today's first race. I'm not betting her at 9 to 5, but hopefully she will drift. It is awfully early.
Okay. 4 Maggie T, a half to one of my favorite New York breds, Control Group.
Yep, so probably not a 5.5 furlong
Probably
horse, having
not.
said that, especially from Destin the sire. Race number 2.
Destine.
Yeah. Race number 2. I want to start out by showing the horse's experience, and that, excuse me, is Cowichan. Is that how you pronounce it? Or is it some other?
Cowichan, yeah.
I thought this horse was a preposterous 2 to 5 shot last time, and I feel as though this is a very good horse to be betting against. And I scratched in the horse for 4th when the 10 scratched, but I don't want it.
4th? Wow.
Why would I want this horse? Don't these races rate to get tougher as the years go on? Wesley Ward's
Okay.
2-year-olds have been decidedly mediocre this year. This horse did next to no running first time, did very little running last time. What am I supposed to like about this horse?
I don't disagree with that. I just didn't feel like this was a particularly tough, from the point of view of debut winning trainers and pedigree. I didn't find this to be the toughest bunch this horse was
Okay,
going to
we disagree.
face.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You,
I picked
you
him second. I don't want her on top either.
for a second.
I picked her second. I don't want her on top either, but
Have at it with Alluring Angel.
yeah, I got a little push on this horse. Not a big one, but I was told this horse can run a little bit. A couple of gate works to wrap things up. This horse worked on the grass the middle of June a couple of times over at the Oklahoma. And then the last 4 works have been on the main track. European pedigree. This horse comes over from Great Britain. I got a little push on this horse. Some kind of race where if I heard any kind of info, I would have bit, and I bit.
All right. I like the 9 illicit in here. Show you this. I think we have this. Do we have the sale? I think we have the sales work from Ocala. 9 4/5 at OBS. $525,000 for this horse. The dam herself was, she was 2 for 3 on the turf. She ran for Christophe Clement. This horse put in that workout. Turf side dam. I thought this horse would be super interesting.
Surprised this horse isn't with Clement?
Yeah, I was. I don't know what the story is with that. It's hard to really know, but I agree. But it is interesting that Robert Evans bred this horse, and he's now part owner. Did he buy? Did Joe Allen buy? Did he buy back in? I don't know the story. The 3, Gustiamo. There's pedigree on this horse. Is a very good second generation, and this is this is a good. The second generation got involved. I think Vision Perfect. This horse is a half actually to Vision Perfect.
Yep.
There's plenty of turf in this one. Going to use this one, and I'm going to use the Klarovich first-time starter for Chad Brown. I want them. Coetian wins. I'm going to lose. I feel like Coetian will win if the field's terrible, and I don't have any reason to believe this is a terrible field.
Okay.
All righty. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Race number 3. So I like WW Fitzy in here. We'll show her last race at Churchill because she was able to rate in here because there is other speed with Played Hard. I just thought her last 2 races were the best 2 races anybody had really run recently in here, and I thought she was a super logical horse. You
Yeah.
disagree, obviously.
Well, she has a lot of gaps in her form. A lot of months off. She comes off an ease 3 back. Now her 2 best races.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
She ran December 17th. Then she ran 3 weeks later. Then she ran 2 weeks later.
Recently,
Then she
recently
ran a month
it's gotten
later,
a little
a month
longer.
later, a month later, a month later. and now
Recently, it's gotten a little longer, and it's kind of been those gaps have gotten wider in the last 3 or 4 starts.
Wait a second. Where was she supposed to be running? He wanted to ship the horse to Saratoga. What race did she miss? She ran June 12th.
We've gone almost 2 months, Andy.
Once again, though, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to disagree with this because I don't know what race she should have run in. Churchill was done on July 4th. She came to Saratoga. We started. There hasn't been this race hasn't been run. So I don't know what race she missed. And to say there's gaps, this horse has had, if anything, this horse might have had a heavy load. I mean,
I feel like recently there's been a little bit more time between the spots, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a function of.
I don't.
she's
You don't like
eligible-
her, but that's an awfully odd reason
Well,
not to like her.
no, she was eligible for a starter. So
Which
I'm
starter
sure,
did we run that she was eligible for?
I'm sure there was a starter. I'm sure we've run a starter 50 that she's been eligible for, Andy.
I'm not sure, but okay. What 50? When did she run for 50?
There's a starter 50. She ran
When?
starter 50 at Oaklawn. So 2 starts back, she got beat.
All right. Okay. We just. I'm sorry. I don't find that
Yeah.
be relevant, but okay. So that's why you don't like her. Gaps.
Well, part of the reason I don't.
I mean, you don't like her. It just seems like an odd.
Part of the reason is the
Muffled.
gaps, and now she's missed almost 2 months. Yeah. That's part of it.
Can you get Jay on the phone and we can have a conversation about this? Okay. Okay. I think she and Played Heart are very much the 2 horses in this race. My problem with Played Heart, as I look at this last race, is that she lost at 1. She lost at 1-5 in this race. The next horse won back in Indiana. I don't think she's as good this year as she was last year.
So 4-horse field that turned into a 3-horse field. She had everything her own way on the front end, and she just couldn't finish the job. I mean, her 2 figs this year just are not as good as what she was producing last year. And maybe she just didn't take the step forward. I think the win 2
Well, maybe
starts
she took a
back.
step back.
Yeah, the win 2 starts back may have dressed her up a little bit to look like, all right, well, she'll take the step forward now, and she finds that cherry spot last time, and she's not able to close the deal.
Yeah, that bothered me.
Yeah.
So you have Boston Post Road on top.
I do.
Okay, we'll show her win. What do we like about her?
I know she's run faster figs. I thought her best race was her debut. And that
Was
was
her
her
what?
lone. I thought her best race was her debut.
No, her best race was the one we're showing now. She ran an 88 buyer.
Right, I understand that, but it was also on a muddy track, and this is a very good race, but it's also 15 months after her debut.
With all due respect, she runs her debut. She will trail this field by a lot.
No, she's not going to run her debut. It's 18 months later. I mean, you'd imagine there's some improvement. I think this figure that she ran 2 starts back indicates that she's improved from
Well,
her
except
3
what
year
happened
season.
last time?
Well, I don't know what happened last time.
I think
don't
the
know.
Fig 2 back is inaccurate, personally.
Okay.
I think it's way too high.
Okay.
I know there were big gaps in there, but I think it was an exaggerated off the turf, and I just think she's too slow. And she's Chad Brown, and she's going to get overbet because of it, right? Isn't she going to be like a short price and relative to her PPs?
So I didn't have the morning line. I didn't think there was any way Played Hard wouldn't have been the favorite on this morning line. I'm a
Chad
little
Brown?
surprised by that. I'm a little surprised by that. But
Well, he's got him 9 to 5 and 2 to 1. I don't think he's
Yeah.
taking a huge stand here. I think he's basically saying all these 3 horses will be similar prices, right? Isn't the 6 kind of a betting on the come horse a little bit, which
perhaps.
is fine, but
and at the prices, I probably would have picked Play Hard. If you tell me that Boston Post Road is going to be the favorite in this race, I would probably pick Play Hard. Play
I
Hard.
guess in these competitive races with locals versus shippers, Chad Brown probably rates to be the favorite.
Maybe.
You know, I mean,
She's only run one time in New York. And that was the big win.
Yeah, but it was a sloppy off
Off
the
the
turf
turf. Yeah,
race.
no, I
It's a
understand
little hard to make to make that the race you want to sort of judge your career on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what we have going on here today? I think for the first time at the meet. Back-to-back races out of the Wilson Chute. Coming up right here in race 4. How about that?
Been a big story, the Wilson Chute.
I was told.
Big story.
I've heard.
Heard that. Race number. this
You know, in
thing
the
is-
morning when we do the breakfast at Saratoga, we have this saddle towel guide that Bob Giordano puts together 14 years in a row. There's a nice little feature on the Wilson Chute in the centerfold in the pullout. So if you see one at the breakfast porch or back over at the Oklahoma at the Whitney viewing stand, pick one up. It's a nice little. Bob did a good job
Seems
on
like it's been getting positive reviews
it. Yeah.
so far, despite all the people whining before the meet started. So where'd you go here?
Went the tactical range, first time Dave Donk. Dave's horses started running 4 months ago, and they really haven't stopped. He's having a good meet. He does not claim a lot of horses. In fact, this is just the 4th horse he's claimed in the last 17 months. It's 19 months.
He
I'm
never
sorry.
wins off the claim.
Well, he's 0 for 3 in the last 2 years.
No, but he's 0 for about 20-ish
Okay.
in the last 5.
That's fine. Listen, I really liked Valorand in here who scratched, so I scratched into this horse.
Where's the race, though, that makes this horse even in the range of competitive?
No, the race 3 back. I mean, look,
Really?
it's a little bit of a reach.
Yes.
I have zero trust here in any of these fillies.
Listen, the horse is 30 to 1 or something, or 20
Any
to
of
1.
these fillies. I mean, who do you want to trust in here? My sweet wife is coming in off turf form.
Well, the problem
Alpine
with that
Queen's been
argument
gone
is
2 months.
the problem with that argument is it seems pretty clear that Michelle Nevin and Jimmy Riccio claimed this horse to run in the dirt. And we'll go back in the time machine to September of 2020 when my sweet wife broke her maiden at Saratoga at 7 furlongs. And she got a 78 buyer, I think, in this race. Or she got a 70 buyer, maybe it was a 70.
Came
I'm sorry,
back in the 78, yeah.
Right, she came back to beat me by a nose as the most ridiculous favorite of all time.
Sweet Kisses, was that Abreu?
Feels like it was TT, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just feel like she's getting to a surface she can handle, and she's in the right spot. I just thought she was super logical here, and if she didn't win, then Alpine Queen would probably win, as Arriaga's pretty good off the claim in dirt routes. But I prefer my sweet wife. I don't know. I thought she seemed super logical.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess Raffinity, I don't really like her. I just thought it had to be 5 or 6. But you've taken a shot at a big price with Tactical Range. Wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, hope she can get it done at a price.
Race number 5. All right. Go ahead with Sensible Jim. I have him second.
We have the same 4 horses here. I'd be very surprised if one of these 4 horses didn't win. I put Sensible Jim on top thinking he would be a little bit of a better price than he is. First time off the Joe Sharp claim. I don't like the drop, but, I mean, it's the bottom of Churchill. It's the bottom here in Saratoga. I really didn't have much to
Yeah.
say. I thought the 2-3. I wanted to close my early pick 5 with the 2, 3, 5, and 8. I'll root for the biggest price, who apparently will be Neko. I wish Neko did a little bit of running. I know he's getting to the dirt. I wish he did a little bit of running in one of those first 2 starts. He really didn't.
He has no dirt pedigree at all. It's
Yeah, I know.
all turf.
I know.
Jimmy Jerkins turfed the dirt with maiden claimers is 0 for 9. Routes 0 for 5. Sensible Jim, Joe Sharp, 2 for 17 off the claim with maidens on the dirt. 0 for 3 when he stretches them out. He's got a 62-cent ROI with the 2 for 17 he's got. I thought Mystical Curlin, who had a super wide trip last time, was just super logical. 4 wide in the first turn, 4 wide to 3 wide entering the second turn before drifting over the inside. But that wasn't a great field, but I thought that horse made a lot of sense, and I thought getting towards the inside would help the horse save a lot of ground. Hopefully Julian will be forward. I think One More Baby's dangerous. We'll go to this race 2 back. I know she's had a lot of chances, but I think
he has had an awful lot of chances.
But I do think if he runs back to this race, he's going to be tough to beat. But he was 2 to 1, and I watched his last race. I mean, he didn't really have any major trouble. It started, he was bumped a little bit, but he dropped out. He was ridden hard in the backstretch, and he had absolutely nothing. But Phil Bauer has thought to ship this horse here, so I'll use this horse as well. I thought one of the 2, 3, or 8 would win, but I did prefer the number 2, Mystical Curlin.
He's very logical, right?
I thought so. All right, we'll take a break. We will be back in just a few moments.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, presented by our good friends at Saratoga Springwater. We appreciate their support. I appreciate a nice cold Saratoga Springwater.
I know you do.
I got the flat, a little flat, so a little better for today.
You're starting to go to the right. Yeah, on a day like today, you need to go to
No,
the
I
flat
drink
water.
the seltzer, the ones at home. I always have tons of in my apartment. Cloud Computing's got one in here. It's the first Cloud I've seen. We both went to the same horse in race 6. Have at it.
Well, she's not a blue hen mare, but for the state bred, she kind of is, right? Elusive Rumor. This horse is a half to My Heart Belongs to Daddy, Scuttle Buzz, and Runaway Rumor. So she was 2 for 14 herself. Both wins came in 11 starts on the grass. Jorge Abreu, I was told this horse had a little, I told the 2 Abreu firsts had a little ability today. A couple of gate works to debut. Kind of the same pattern as the horse earlier in the card with the work in mid-June on the grass, actually on Belmont Stakes Day. Between the pedigree, the mile and the 16th debut, this horse has been working steadily since May. I landed with LaChase.
Yeah, obviously she'll be a short price. It is a big pedigree. Oscar performance as well. Looking forward to seeing those Oscar performances run.
Yeah.
This is his first prop. Hit the racetrack. He was a terrific turf horse, so I'm with you on that one. But I thought there were some other interesting horses in here. And I thought, to me, one of the keys is probably try to beat New York Panther. And we'll show New York Panther. I'm not going to circle the other horses in the race, but I feel like Humi, who broke a 1.5 to 2 lengths slow in that race, did a little running, picks up Joel Rosario. I felt like Twirling Charlie. Another horse broke a little slowly in there. It's enough turf pedigree. I thought those were 2 horses that were interesting to use behind or with LaChase. So I'm going to use 1, 7, and 9 in this race. I know New York Panther ran fine in there, but I'd rather have the horses that were towards the back than a horse like this. And I did find a stat for Todd Pletcher, for what it's worth. This horse will be a reasonably short price. 2-year-old maiden stretching out in the turf. Not great numbers, so I'm going to hope the ones that didn't do as much running, like the 1 and 9, might be a little bit more interesting stretching out in this race. What else do you have going on here?
I used a little 5, a little Christophe Clement, a little Fire King. Another horse been working steadily since mid-spring. 3 of the last 4 turf works have been on the turf. He reaches out for a rad.
Isn't that a negative, though? Just hurts the price, right?
Say that one more time.
I think getting IRAD just hurts your price. I mean, this is the worst. If it wasn't IRAD, you can make it 6 to 1, and now you're going to get 7 to 2.
Yes, but I think it's a good indication that the horse is a little live, that he's reaching out for a
But
rad.
isn't his go-to guy Joel?
It is,
Okay.
but well, does he have a lot of horses for Corms Racing? I feel like that's somebody else.
Not familiar with them. This horse was bred by Danny Gargan. Just noticed that.
That's who has the horse, Danny Gargan. Danny
has
Gargan
Corms?
has their horses. Yes,
That's odd.
there you go.
All
yeah.
right.
So I thought the fact that this horse was I don't remember Christoph ever having a horse for these people. So, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't have any opinion on that.
Yeah.
Race number 7. Thought this was a pretty interesting race. And the horse to beat in here is Mail Order. Problem with Mail Order is you got the money last time, and I just feel like either you got this horse at $25 last time, do you need a short price again? But I have nothing against this horse.
No.
Picked her second. I'm going to try to beat her, but she seemed perfectly logical. You just kind of missed the opportunity to get a big price on her last time.
She got a great setup last time too. She just sat off the speed, made one run, and that was it. Sat a length and a half off the speed and just gobbled them up.
Well, she
Yeah,
figures
and
a
like you
similar
said,
trip
you
today.
got $25 last time, and what did she do? She's 7 to 2 morning line. She'll be, she's the second choice on the morning line on the turf rather. So yeah, I mean she'll be a considerably shorter price today, and that turf course at Belmont was rock hard,
Okay.
and that fig sticks out on her card like a sore thumb.
Well, it does and it doesn't. I mean, she was running their figures early in her 3-year-old year. She does have a right to have improved.
She does,
And this turf course is very firm as well.
it is, but it doesn't concern you a little bit?
No.
Okay, it concerns me a little bit.
Okay.
It concerns me a little bit.
So we didn't show the replay of the last race. I might have reversed them, but you're taking the 2 horses out of the Bay Storm race, By and Always Late.
They were completely up against it with the pace scenario in that race. I mean, they walked around the race. We were talking about how rock hard the turf course was. They went 46-4 to the half.
Yeah.
And both Bye and Always Late had to make up some ground. And it just, on that course, that wasn't happening. And I think you're right, this course is pretty firm as well. But it's been a lot more forgiving up here. We've seen plenty of horses make up ground up here, and I just think they'll get a little relief as far as, the pace scenario last time. I think with the horse you have on top, Spicy Marge, Mail Order is not slow. I would imagine.
No. Spicy Marge is loose. We'll get to her in a minute. Secret Time, last time out. Maybe she was last time. Neither of us have her in there. Why did you leave this horse out?
She had a great setup last time. When they were flying on the front end. She got to go 7/8 last time. She's never. I mean, yeah, the 7 is considered a turf sprint, but at Belmont it plays a little more like not a sprint. Now she's got to cut back from 7 to 5.5. She's not going to get that pace she had, and she's not going to get the extra furlong and a half she had.
Yeah, for me, it was the distance. This is a horse that is not proven to be a true turf sprinter, and 5.5 is a very specific turf sprint. So I agree. I thought for that reason she got a good setup last time, but so did Nazuna, and she came back to win. So I don't mind that. She probably has to improve off that race, and I just am skeptical of her proving cutting back. But she is 6 to 1 in the morning line. I like Spicy Margin here. We'll show her winning 3 back at Keeneland. I don't trust her. I'm not going to disagree with that. But the truth is, she's the main speed in this race, and I'm going to take a shot with her to wire the field. So I don't think there's any killers in here. I absolutely respect Mail Order. I'm going to focus in on the 3 and 6 as my 2 horses in this race. But I thought she had a real chance to wire the field. Johnny just put her on the front end. She's faster than these horses.
I don't disagree. I think she has a real chance to wire the field as well.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I was just hoping maybe Mail Order puts a little pressure on her. She probably can't.
No, she's not fast
She
enough.
probably can't, but
And I think she'd be making a mistake if she went aggressively against her because she's the horse to beat and she can stalk and still beat her. So 3 and 6 for me. I hear you on the 1 and 7. And I guess I could use Always Late if she's a bigger price, but I'm a little tired of buying by. But we'll see. Bye-bye.
Fair. That's fair. That's a fair enough assessment.
Well,
I'm not necessarily against that idea.
Race number 8. So neither one of us is going to try to beat Art Collector. We'll take a look at Art Collector winning the Woodward. I don't know. It just seems like his good races are so much better than these, and they're bringing him back unless you really feel like he's going to need a race. But in general, you know, he did need a race last year, to be fair, and he stretched out and was effective. But I just thought he was probably too good for these horses.
Yeah. Right. You could say he needs a race because he needed a race last year. He didn't run well in the Saudi Cup off the layoff. Was that the Saudi Cup, or was that because of the, you know, heading out there, whatever it was? But boy, you got to feel like the defending champion if he shows up. He's got a pretty cherry pace scenario too in here, right?
Well, I mean, I think Mask Parade. We'll take a look at it winning last time. Isn't Mask Parade going to be outside him? I agree, it's not going to be a super fast pace.
Yeah.
But I do think the Mask Parade will stalk him, and I guess Mask Parade has a chance to step forward, but he's going to have to step forward to beat this horse.
He's going to have to step forward, and our collector's going to have to not run his A race. So both of those things have to happen.
Well,
Could
I
it
don't
happen?
know.
Absolutely could
No.
happen.
If our collector isn't capable of running that well, I think he can beat him. I mean, he runs a 97, 98 buyer, and our collector doesn't run as good race, then he's right there. I don't know if I would agree totally with that. I think he needs our collector not to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's. I think if our collector doesn't run his A race, he can beat him. What
Well,
about Mystic Knight?
Well, that's what I was. The reason I said that he may have to improve is
Well, it's an or. I don't. You say it's both. I think it's an or.
if Mystic Knight last time, I don't know. When you watched that race last time, until very late in the game, it doesn't look like Mystic Knight's going to get anything, and then he kind of just like took off. And it was that short stretch at Keeneland, something that his running style really didn't think it would lend itself to. He really impressed me last time. This is a horse that we both kind of been waiting on, right? It's been a while now, and I can't just come off the Texas swing and hammer mischief afoot and think he's going to take on our collector and a horse like Mass Parade, who I think has some blue sky as well. I'm not saying Mystic Knight doesn't. It's just I feel like for a year and a half been waiting for this horse to break through, and it just happened out. Maybe today's the day. Maybe today's the day for him. But you would think the pace scenario affects him negatively the most, right? It looks like it's going to line up 5-6 here, and then he's going to have to overcome because I don't think they're going to be going fast at all on the front end.
The thing about him is that makes him interesting is he's overcome those scenarios before.
He has. Yes.
When he ran that race in March 14th of 2021, he really looked like he was going to turn out to be a stakes horse. That was a huge rail that day. He was never near the rail. He closed. Speed was dominant that day. And you can say Yankee Division didn't want the distance, but this horse ran. He got a 99 buyer against the racetrack and against the flow of the race. That's the kind of performance that will stamp a horse potential stakes horse. Something obviously went wrong. We didn't see him for 2.5 months. He comes in the slop. He ran fine, but he did not run as well. And then, oddly, he sort of just kind of fell apart. And Chad Brown kept persevering with him. And he was right. He returned it around with that win in the slop at Aqueduct. He won the race at Keeneland. I don't disagree. These are obviously tougher horses. But this is a horse that was poised to potentially be a good horse. I mean, a good horse. And I don't want to completely dismiss the possibility of it happening because he had shown the inclination that he could be good. And I think you've got a horse like Bow Harbor. I know he goes back to Todd, but he is a 7-year-old. You've got Chess Chief. These horses are the only horse in here that, as you say, may have some improvement in a Mask Parade, and that's very fair. And I do think in some ways he's probably the logical second likeliest winner here. But I don't want to discount Mystic Knight, who I think could still have it in him to be a good horse. So I'm a little scared of him in this race. I considered picking him on top because I had a real affinity for him. And maybe just coming around. And I think this is an aggressive spot for Chad to try it out. Now, to be fair, he's got no choice. He's got to run here, right?
Correct.
He's got no conditions really left for him. But
he's out of options.
And he may just not be good enough, as it turns out. And you may be, you are definitely right. From a dynamic standpoint, this race is stacked against him.
He's up against him.
Absolutely correct. No one could argue against that. But he's beaten them before. Now, he hasn't beaten them before against
these
Art
horses,
Collector.
right.
But I'll put it this way. if Art Collector isn't the same horse he was last year, which is a distinct possibility, not only can Masquerade beat him, but Mystic Knight can beat him.
I don't disagree with that.
You know, so I'm gonna use him and try to beat him. We'll see what happens. They got a little bit interesting running for Alidar, but Alidar's Whitney was one of the great performances I've ever seen. I remember watching it. I was watching up in the grandstand around the 8th pole. Amazing. You can see it. The race is on YouTube. I think it was taped. I think somebody shot it with. I think there's an artist recreation off a TV. But he comes through on the inside, and it may have been the best race he ever ran. Amazing, amazing performance. Alidar. See, I guess they're all. I mean, in theory, it's a prep for the Jockey Club, right?
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what Mystic Knight does, because he could be a 1.25 mile type horse. Chad, isn't there another potential? Is Chad another potential horse for the Jockey Club? I mean, American Revolution. The feeling of American Revolution is he's probably scratching Saturday, right? He feels like an insurance policy for
Life is Good.
Doesn't it feel like that? And there's
I
been
would-
some talk that they're not, sure
I
they're
would
running.
think.
So he would probably point for it. Interesting. Oh, no. I'm thinking Miles D, but hopefully he's coming back soon. Race number 9 is a fascinating race. And I don't think there's any, in good governance, anybody's wondering, he scratched to run here on Saturday where he found a more suitable spot.
Now, he didn't have to scratch because it's
No.
not the next day, but
Could have run
he
both.
I'm sorry?
Could have run both. Well, he's make up for lost time.
You think Chad?
Actually, he couldn't run both if he won here.
Right.
But, well, he hasn't made too many starts. Strike while the iron's hot. To argue against a tone, and we'll show him finishing second in the Forbidden Apple, is foolish. He's just an hour and a half the horse to beat in this race. He's been keeping good company.
Scary,
They're
isn't
running
it?
consistently good races, and
You look at his figs compared to the rest of these horses, and it's just.
and he ran very well last time.
He did.
Because the other thing is, he's the first one to come calling in this
Yes, he
race.
did.
And he still managed all the public sector and all the others in here. And yeah, the horse in the rail, the Juddmonte horse had a little bit of traffic, but this horse is in raging form.
Yep.
I don't see set piece. So that's piece of too back. I'm not against him. I picked him second. But I have to admit, because I texted you, I thought you would put the wrong number down. What am I missing? Unless he's 100-1, I'm all for
I took a
100-1
goofy
shot.
shot with clear vision here. He gets his Lasix back. He's drawn inside. I'm hoping Julian Leperoux just puts him on the front end. I know there's some other speed in here, but I'd like to see him try to bottom the
Hard
field
to see
out.
Byland and C not going.
Yeah,
How's Javi
again,
not
like
going
I
his
said,
horse?
I would imagine. I'm hoping the instructions of the Julian to go. Just get to the
Well,
lead
he's
from the
got the
rail
rail,
at
he's
all
gotta
costs.
go.
Yeah, and that's it. Taking one shot against them. I'm going to use the 4 of them in the pick 5 and pick 4. And yeah, I just want to take a little bit of a shot with the horse getting his Lasix back and hopefully getting loose on the lead at a giant number.
He's a big price. Okay. Take a look at the Amorati and Floriform race. Amorati is going to benefit from getting pace in here, and I actually thought he ran okay. He had a little bit of an excuse here. I thought he ran very well. Kind of waited. I thought it was a good patient ride. I guess a little blind switch, but I thought overall sort of waiting to make that last move. He'll get kind of blind switched in there. Floriform was disappointing in here. I know he made maybe a little bit of a premature move with Joel.
But he had a clear run.
Yeah, I mean,
He
the
had a
winner,
clear
winner
run.
did get a perfect trip, but ultimately, I just thought Amorati ran better. I mean, he got a little blind switch by him, and he still managed to actually run him down in this race. So, I don't know. I guess he's not impossible, but I kind of preferred Amorati of those horses in here.
Okay.
I'm not wildly against him in here. I feel like there's a horse in here that had the potential to be good enough to compete with a tone, and that was Bye Bye Melvin when he was running last year. I thought his races 2 and 3 back, they came up very strong races. I thought he ran well in those races. And then obviously something just went completely wrong in the Manhattan. And Grand Motion has good numbers coming off sustained layoffs, 250-day plus. Turf routes is almost 20% with a $2.16 ROI. And I feel like this is a guy who could be interesting. I mean, this horse was running races as a 3-year-old that made sense that he could really move forward, running well in those stake races. I know it was a bog when he won the Saranac, but he justified it with his subsequent performances. And I thought he was the kind of horse that might be a little bit interesting. He's like one horse I thought, this guy could have a chance to actually beat a Tone if he showed up. So I put him on top. I didn't want anybody else in here. I guess Emery is not impossible in here. He'd be like a distant C for me. But I'm going to lean on a Tone and Bye Bye Melvin and try to get the bigger price home. He'll be a big price in here.
Yeah.
And I just thought he was kind of
Be a
interesting.
giant price in there.
I didn't really want anybody else in here.
Okay.
I mean, it sounded like the others were just over their head. Race number 10.
Lay finale.
What'd you do in race number 10?
I went to Stuck on Kitten.
Okay, well, we'll show the race that Stuck on Kitten, Mandy Green, and Freedom Press came out of, and why do you want Stuck on Kitten?
I just thought this horse may have needed the first race back. I don't know. Just thought this horse needed the first race back. Stays at the same level.
Okay, the point of this race is that Freedom of the Press ran outrageously well. This was a suicidal pace in this race. Just an absolute monster pace. I was surprised that Johnny went after the speed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And she holds until the very, very late stages. There is no doubt if they all run the race they ran last time, she is going to win Freedom of the Press. She's going to beat Mandy Green, who had a perfect trip behind her. She's going to beat Stuck on Kitten, who was 3 wide and didn't run badly. I don't disagree, but she ran significantly better than, excuse me, than that one did. So for my money, I think she is much, much better than those horses. And I think the more likely horse to beat her is Miss Domina, who's no superstar, but she was 3 to 4 wide last time, and they had taken the rails down, and you wanted to be inside at Monmouth Park. So she was against it, and they were much better horses. So I'm going to use her. And I hear you on Stuck on Kitten. She didn't run badly last time, but Freedom of the Press runs her last race. She's Jen here. She can't lose. I mean, she ran a huge, huge race last time out.
Okay.
What about?
I want some threes. All Reposado Loca.
Okay.
Dan was 4 for 22 on the grass. 2 of the 3 siblings have won on the turf. Comes up for a barn that wins an awful lot of races in South Florida and Rowan Crichton. Thought this was a very interesting ship up.
Yeah, no, I
Very
agree.
interesting
I'm gonna use
ship
this
up.
horse.
And 8 to 1 on the morning line at a square price. I want to try and get this horse in the number, maybe even to the winner's circle. Freedom of the Press obviously going to be used.
No, I've got the worst fourth. I saw the same things you did, and she is a fuzzy coming up here. I don't disagree. I want to put her in there. I don't disagree with that. But we'll see if Freedom of the Press is reliable enough. She runs her last race. They're all running for second here. See what happens in that race. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. Toga 200. We will match with $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. We have, late Big Five. For some reason, I'm having trouble logging in, opting in. I couldn't do it yesterday. Donnie had to do it for me. I tried to log in for this one today. I couldn't do it.
Donnie Nelson?
Yeah, I can't.
Wow.
I can't do it on my phone.
Way to go, Donnie.
Well, I can't do it. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I've tried everything to do it, and I just can't seem to get it done.
Strange.
Yeah, I know.
Is it user error?
No, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work. Wi-Fi, non-Wi-Fi, website, or app.
Weird.
Everybody else tells me it's working for them, so my phone is revolting against me. What else do we have here?
Contest.
Contest, $300 buy-in. You have until 5 o'clock tomorrow to sign up. Naira.com/contests. Speaking of Naira.com/contests, next week, the $3,000 buy-in. You can play on track or online, 5,000 seated pool. That's the big one, the 4-star Dave Challenge. Go to Naira.com/contests. You have until next week, I assume, to sign up. All details will be at the page. We have the Low Rollers contest every Thursday and Sunday. Go see Ray and Jay by the Miller Time 4-star Dave Sports Bar. And sign up. It's a lot of fun. $40 buy-in, $30 bankroll, $10 in the prize pool. Join in. And America's Day at the Races. 1 to 6:30. So is Johnny I up next to Reprise Scratch Age?
He
or are
is.
you doing that? Okay, he is here. Excellent. All right. All right.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Yep. All right. Enjoy your day at Saratoga. Johnny I up next. Reprise Scratch and Changes.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Racing fans, you can enjoy great New York craft beer, cider, wine, and spirits at the Taste New York Pavilion, located inside Gate A at the top of the stretch. The Taste New York Pavilion features craft offerings from Druthers, Brooklyn Brewery, Frog Alley, Common Roots, Nine Pin Hard Cider, Cooperstown Distillery, Pick Six Vodka, Old Tavern Farm Winery, and Brotherhood Winery. The Taste New York Pavilion also features specialty chocolates from Saratoga Chocolate Company. The Taste New York Pavilion is open now through 5 p.m. with free beverage samples for those 21 years of age and older.